What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. All right, it's been a few days. I'm gonna go ahead and address this. So Donald Trump, right, was talking shit about the director that got murdered by his son. The director and his wife. You know, the son murdered both his parents. You know, with tragic. Like, you're talking about drug addiction and what comes with that. Like, I know, because within my family, I've had people who are, you know, addicted to drugs, and I still to this day we have to deal with the consequences of people who are addicted to drugs, and it really does alter them to the point to where they are not who they are, right? And it's tragedy, right? And that this is a human thing, right? This is beyond Democrat. I don't know why do people live their lives like, Democrat, Republican from two different planets. No, that's just two different perspectives based off the information given to both of us by rich motherfuckers in suits who want us to fight each other so they can keep stealing our shit, right? So Donald Trump, like he always does, right, talk shit, right, has no respect for the dead. And now you got all of the media, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, even MAGA, they're all mad. They're like, oh my God, you went too far. Well, you're unbecoming of a president. I'm seeing all those videos of MAGA sitting there trying to talk to the president. Okay, Mr. President, I voted for you 3 times, but you know, this is, you crossed the line. You seriously crossed the line, right? I'm hearing everybody pretend like they're so fucking shocked that Donald Trump is smoking on goddamn director Pat after he done got murked simply because the guy is against him politically. Donald Trump has been the same guy this whole time. Y'all wasn't saying shit when Donald Trump disrespected the veterans. How many times has he disrespected dead veterans? Veterans that died in war. How many times have you seen this dude disrespect the mentally ill? How many times do you see this dude disrespect women on a daily basis? How many times do you see this dude disrespect black people openly like an old white racist man? But now y'all shocked. Oh my God. Oh my shit. No. All of y'all just trying to pivot away from Donald Trump now that he done passed his big, beautiful bill. That's the only goddamn thing the other real, competent, most dangerous rich men in suits wanted him to do. Once he passed that shit, they didn't give a fuck about Donald Trump. That's why he's a sinking ship, because they got what they want. So now he ain't worth shit. Now everybody's looking to exit stage left, right? Nobody seems to care about the Epstein files. How about that shit? How about him being all over the place? How about him? Basically, if you gather all the information suggesting that he was at least okay with the idea of grown men pleasuring themselves with children. He didn't stop it. He didn't report it. Remember that time he put out that whole goddamn newspaper article on 5 black people because they thought that they had raped somebody in Central Park? Remember when they found out they was innocent and he didn't even care after the evidence came out that they found out that those boys didn't do it and they was coerced by a racist neo-Nazi police department that they wanted to put the rape of a white person onto a bunch of innocent black children? You know what he did? He didn't care. He wanted them to die anyway. That's the guy you talking about. Front page, the whole goddamn newspaper. We talking about a dude that buys a social media platform because having a social media profile is not good enough. He buys a whole platform in order to speak his racist, hateful, dehuman, subhuman, Neanderthal, barbaric bullshit. And now all of a sudden, y'all all offended. Oh my God, I can't believe he said something about the director who died. Get the fuck out of here. Ain't nobody surprised. And I'm tired. I'm honestly tired of old media's fake festivity. Fake. Y'all having whole fucking conversations. I ain't got shit else to talk about. How about we just talk about Epstein? That's the only thing we ever should be talking about right now is Epstein and Sudan and the Congo and Palestine. That's it. That's the only thing that's important right now is those things. Y'all want to talk about, you talking about this obviously delusional, deranged, racist neo-Nazi, right? Who the only book he ever read was the one written by goddamn Adolf fucking Hitler. Got a whole legitimately neo-Nazi administration, and y'all talking about some shit that he done said because he's unbecoming as a fucking president. He was unbecoming of the fucking president before he became the goddamn president. How about that? His campaign, he started his campaign talking shit about Barack Obama. About having him not being a goddamn citizen. Yeah, this fucking second generation German, Anglo-Saxon, barbarian, savage who has no history in America was talking to white people about how Barack Obama is not from America. He's not real America. Y'all got all these foreign, neo-Nazi, racist piece of shits running America talking about other people who are foreign or not America. Listen, white people can go back to where they come from too, you know. Huh? So when y'all talking about criminal illegal legs and taking away birthright citizenship, I think that should apply to white folks who were never allowed in this country in the first place, who were never greeted and said, you know what, y'all should stay here. No, y'all rape, murdered, and pillage every place you go, and then you trying to say God manifest destiny says that y'all can be there, and everybody else, they're a burden to you. When you, white folks, right, and people like Donald Trump, those type of white folks have been the burden of humanity, have been the burden of this earth, have been the burden of flora and fauna since their fucking inception in those fucking caves. What are you talking about? So stop acting. I don't care about, no, it's tragic that happened. Whether that director was a Republican, whether he was a Democrat, whether he was a Libertarian, doesn't matter. That's some tragic shit. That's some regular tragic shit that all people should be able to relate to. But these subhuman barbarians don't relate to that shit. And stop talking about you care and all this shit, because y'all don't give a fuck about all the murder and death and destruction that's happening all over the world on behalf of American foreign policy. You don't care about them babies down. You don't care about the 30, 40, 20,000 Palestinian babies that got killed. You don't care about the hospitals that's destroyed. You don't care about the doctors that was killed while they was trying to save lives. That's it. But y'all talking about one or two white people. Oh, dog, right? It's tragic. I'm not going to talk. That's another video, because I can put all this shit together. Y'all been tripping. You white folks been tripping last couple weeks, right? But this video is specifically about the oh my God, Donald Trump. Let's have a bunch of CNN panels, and we're going to talk hours on end about how it is that Donald Trump has not yet ever met the standards of what it is to be a human, let alone the president of the United States. Let's go ahead and get a bunch of pundits, right? Let's hire them, pay them $125,000 to come on here and jibber jabber for 15 minutes and have all sorts of various opinions and ideas about what is going on with this individual we call Donald J. Trump and why it is, and pontificate from every fucking angle when we know there's only one angle. He's a stupid, racist, piece of shit, old, spoon-fed, rich geezer don't give a shit about nobody but himself. That's it. And you shouldn't be surprised that he's smoking on Director Pack right now. Anyway, you guys tell me what y'all think in the comment sections. Afro Think Tank, learn something, teach something. I'm out.
President Trump has already come under criticism for what he has said on his Truth Social platform about Rob Reiner. He accused him of having Trump derangement syndrome. He said he was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession with Donald Trump. He called him tortured and struggling, but once very talented. Trump then, just a few moments ago, had this to say in a Q&A with reporters. Let's take a look.
Well, I wasn't a fan of his at all. He was a deranged person as far as Trump is concerned. He said he knew it was false. In fact, it's the exact opposite, that I was a friend of Russia, controlled by Russia. You know, it was the Russia hoax. He was one of the people behind it. I think he hurt himself in career-wise. So he became like a deranged person, Trump derangement syndrome. So I was not a fan of Rob Reiner at all in any way, shape, or form. I thought he was very bad for our country. So I was not a fan of Rob Reiner at all in any way, shape, or form. I thought he was very bad for our country.
We hear about Susie Wiles all the time. Mm-hmm. I just got to ask, where was Susie Wiles? Where was any grown-up in the White House? Where were they? Where were they? They had to know that even for this president, who aggressively goes after his critics, who's broken barriers time and time again, but even for this president with the low standards that he's allowed to get by on, somebody in that White House had to know this would cause conservatives, this would cause his most fierce supporters in the MAGA base to be deeply disturbed at how much it would damage him. This is not about hurting libs. This isn't about libs. This is about Donald Trump hurting Donald Trump. Donald Trump hurting the White House. Donald Trump hurting the MAGA base. Like Eric Erickson said, people in the MAGA base are exhausted by this. Who is in the White House who can say, Mr. President, you can't send that out?
Well, this has been one of our themes in this last month or two as the president has really been in a political slump. There's no one in the White House to tell him no, and that's by design. Social media account is the president himself or Dan Scavino, who's one of his longtime advisors. They're the ones who have the keys to this, but someone in the White House response staff, they put it out. The reflexive instinct is just to fight, to double down on whatever the president says. This should not be a challenging moment. This is a moment to be a human, to express sympathy, horror, sadness, and he's simply not able to do it. When that Truth Social post came on, it came just before we came off the air yesterday. I literally gasped on air, and I'm the one who always reads the Truth Social post. I am rarely surprised by what he says. I was yesterday, and it was right at the end of the show, so we didn't talk about it then because it was so outrageous. I thought maybe this one was
a
fake.
hoax. Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to double check this before
I
we
think
talk
a
about
lot
it.
of his supporters said throughout the day they thought it was a hoax, and then they came back and they said sadly, we looked at it. This isn't a hoax, Mr. President. Please take this down. That's from his supporters.
No, then he said it.
Well, I wasn't a fan of his at all. He was a deranged person as far as Trump is concerned.
And two things. The only defenders I found of this is the really hardcore, like Laura Loomer defended it, and a few people like that. But usually even acolytes of President Trump distance themselves from this. And we mentioned Charlie Kirk, and I'm glad we played that clip there. Rob Reiner showed such humanity of it. But after Charlie Kirk was killed, let's remember the hunt the people on the right went on about people who dared say anything negative about Charlie Kirk. They should lose their jobs. They should do this. And now we have the President of the United States take it that much further.
A bunch of MAGA fans are abandoning Donald Trump and calling him out for his disgusting post on the passing of Rob and Michelle Reiner. I'm sure you've all seen this post by now where Donald Trump tried to say that Rob Reiner's death was because of TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, when he was killed in his home, and some Trump fans are not happy about it. This is the comment section under that post. This person says, I respect you so much, but this was heartless and uncalled for. You could have just said RIP, love you, Mr. President, but none of the other stuff was needed. It's very sad we are living in the world we are right now. Come on, Mr. President, not appropriate thing to write. The editor-in-chief of Christianity Today magazine said how this vile, disgusting, and immoral behavior has become normalized in the United States is something our descendants will study in school. One of Donald Trump's former lawyers said this is not the appropriate response. A Turning Point USA contributor said Trump really said, quote, how can I make this horrific murder of a father and mother about me? Shake my head, shameful. And there are many more examples. When even MAGA is calling out Donald Trump, you know he's done something bad.
A number of Republicans have denounced your statement on Truth Social after the murder of Rob Reiner. Do you stand by that post?
Well, I wasn't a fan of his at all. He was a deranged person as far as Trump is concerned. He said he knew it was false. In fact, it's the exact opposite, that I was a friend of Russia, controlled by Russia. You know, it was the Russia hoax. He was one of the people behind it. I think he hurt himself in career-wise. He became like a deranged person, Trump derangement syndrome. So I was not a fan of Rob Reiner at all, in any way, shape, or form. I thought he was very bad for our country.
Fuck this, fuck that, and bitch, fuck you. Fuck this, fuck shit, fuck your daddy too. No, I ain't forget you, motherfucker too. Motherfucker, fuck your blood and this fuckery they got us going through. Those fuckers put us under spells. Said fuck y'all to a living hell. Fuck all the laws that nature tells. So we die cursed while they live well. But fuck, I've had it up to here. I curse their curses with no fear. I give no fucks, I'll live to hear the song that justice sings so clear.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.